Good day, Conjen Borja. Kamusta naman po dyan sa Guam?
Happy day sa iyo, Congressman. Kamusta? Happy day is the Chamorro for kamusta ka? Mabuti naman ang panahon dito.
Please greet our fellow Filipinos who are watching Frontliners all over the world.
Salamat po at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat at isa pong maalab na pagbati mula dito sa Aganya, sa Guam.
Alam mo, Conjen, isa sa mga importante nga dito para malaman ng ating mga kababayan sa buong mundo, hindi natin nakikita talaga na meron ring Consul General's office dyan, or consular office dyan sa Guam. Dahil pag sinasabing Estados Unidos, akala nila Washington, LA, San Francisco. So, kailan po na-establish yung opisina dyan sa Guam?
Bago lahat, gusto ko lang magsalita tungkol sa kasaysayan, no? Ang bahagi lang, no? Kasi alam mo, ang Pilipinas sa Guam, nung nagkaroon ng tinatawag na Treaty of Paris between the United States of America and Spain, magkasama tayo So that means in 1898, when that agreement was signed between these two countries, we became part of the United States as a territory, of course, no? So in fact, we had similar experiences, First, we were under Spain, and then later under the Americans, and then Guam, just like the Philippines, was also under Japanese occupation during the Second World War. And then when we attained independence in July 1946, that's after the war, maraming kailangang construction dito sa Guam kasi nasira din sila during the war. Massive destruction and economic recovery was very important. So, nangyari yan, they had to import, at that time pa lang, mga manggagawa, laborers, especially construction workers, farmers, and maintenance crew, Kasi there was massive reconstruction here in Guam, and they also had to reestablish the naval station, the Anderson base, which is it's like Clark Air Base. So that's why they needed, at that time, we're talking of 1945, around 20,000 Filipinos. So initially, after the liberation of Guam, that's in 1944, there was an honorary consul, local resident businessman. But then the Philippine government realized that it's important, not just monitor, but also to extend assistance and representation on behalf of our Filipino constituents here. They decided at that time to establish a permanent consulate. So that was 1952. So that was the official establishment of this consulate. And this was further elevated to a Consulate General in 1964. The brief historical background of this office. And since 1964, there has been continuous rotation of different Consuls General, and I assumed my present position here last August. So I've been here for around 6 months now.
Conjen, ilan po ang compliment po natin mula sa DFA na nandyan sa Guam na katulong mo sa opisina?
Right now, it's not really that big, Aside from me, as Consul General, we have two consuls, Consul Gary Oxilian and Consul Mark Hamoy, and together with initially 15 staff. And then, before the end of the year, we got 2 additional staff. Kasi alam mo, nagsara yung ating consulate sa Saipan. Saipan is part of the Mariana Islands, which Guam is the biggest. So, sinara yon, saka yung ating embassy sa Palau. Since 2013, lumawak na itong aking jurisdiction. So, aside from Guam, we also cover Northern Mariana Islands, the Republic of Palau, the Federated States of Micronesia, and also the Republic of Marshall Islands. So, kung titignan mo sa mapa, itong aming jurisdiction, halos kasing laki ng continental United States. Pero syempre, puro tubig yan. That's Pacific Ocean. So far, we have 2 officers, 2 consuls, and 17 staff members. All of them from the Philippines. And we hope to get junior officer, hopefully after the APEC Summit in Manila. Because I really reported to our home office in the DFA, as you know, that we need to be reinforced by another officer to be able to cover this vast jurisdiction, at the same time to advance our economic diplomacy programs, and also to improve and maintain the level of consular service that our kababayans here deserve.
Conjen, pag pinag-uusapan natin itong iba't ibang mga territories na hawak ng inyong opisina, Northern Marianas, Saipan, Palau, and Guam. Ilan po ang mga kababayan po natin dito sa iba't ibang mga lugar na ito? Unahin na po natin sa Guam. Ilan ang populasyon ng mga Pilipino dyan?
Just to give you a perspective, no? Sa Guam kasi, ang total population dito, ang estimate nila is around 160,000-170,000. So out of that figure, around 42,000 or 26% ay mga Pilipino. Now, out of that 42,000, 20,000 of them are within the what we call migrant workers o H-2 visa holders. No? So ito yung medyo critical part ng ating consular service because the other half, they're mostly US citizens or dual citizens. So we have at least 20,000 who are critical to us here in Guam. And then in Saipan, there are around 10,500 Filipinos. In Palau, we have around 4,000 Filipinos. In Micronesia, we have 1,500. And lastly, in Marshall Islands, we have 500.
Sa pagtataya po ninyo dito sa iba't ibang mga areas at lalo-lalo sa Guam, ano ang industriya kung saan nagtatrabaho ang ating mga kababayan dyan?
Well, principal here is the construction industry. So, alam mo naman, ang mga Pilipino ay kilala bilang mahuhusay na manggagawa sa construction. And there are also many hotel workers because as you know, Guam, Saipan, and even Palau, they're also expanding their tourism industry. But they don't have the manpower. So they normally recruit from the Philippines. So if you visit us here, and I hope you will do in near term, you will see that many of the managers in the hotels, the staff in the kitchen, and food and beverage are normally handled by Filipinos. And of course, the overall maintenance. And the service is really very good because as they say, the Filipinos practically run the hotels and restaurants. And then aside from that, in Saipan before, there was a huge garment industry. So that's why thousands of Filipinos were employed in Saipan. Bumaba na lang yan starting 2003, yan medyo bumagsak ng konti yung kanilang garments. So yung iba nag-shift na to other industries like the hotel industry. Meron din tayo mga engineers and technical people, especially IT, and then marami ring accountants in the thousands. No? And we expect more actually, Congressman, because of we are anticipating the military build-up here in Guam. No? And that's one interesting development that we're monitoring. Dahil for your information, of course for the information of our kababayans, the military build-up is actually an ambitious plan to transfer around 8,000 Marines from Okinawa to Guam and about 9,000 of their dependents. So, ang estimate period of instant construction and island infrastructure projects ranges from 7 to 12 years. So, we are really preparing for this, and as of now, I can tell you, a lot of companies are already recruiting a lot of Filipino workers, especially for the construction. And our office has been processing a lot of contracts and job orders, which I think is a very good news for those who are thinking of employment opportunities in Guam in the next few months.
Jen, before we continue with our discussion, let me usher in some of our reminders from our dear friends. Frontliners will be right back.
Kagandahan ng Guam ay nandito ang magandang view, magandang kalikasan. Ang kaibahan ng Pilipinas ay maganda ang kultura natin, pero maganda rin ang kultura ng Guam. Halos magkaparehas lang ng Pilipinas.